Hey y'all, if you're here, I want to see a post. I want to see a comment. Who's here? Who's watching? We're going to get started in just another few minutes. Hey, Dwight. I'm going to wait another minute or two for others to join. As you can see, I've got a still shot of Dr. Katie. We had a little snafu, so the live stream is just me today, but we're going to make it work anyway, kind of like I do. It's how stuff goes. All right, I'm going to get started. Dwight, it may be you and I, but I know this is going to post later so people can watch it afterwards. So hopefully you're ready to be very interactive. So welcome to the first episode of Blunt and Biased. Dr. Katie and I have partnered together on this because we are both two curly-haired, sassy gals in the wellness field that have our very strong opinions about what it takes to be well and healthy and how to do weight loss in a safe and healthy manner. And so we decided to pair up so we could share our own blunt and biased thoughts on the topics and get into some really good dialogue together about what we agree on, what we don't agree on, and why, and help everybody get some greater insights on what it takes to be really be well. And really, what's the focus when we lose weight, and how do we do it successfully? How do we do it with joy, which is super important to me in my program, and all of the elements that are involved in that, some of which I am super experienced with and others I'm not. And that's where Dr. Katie is going to bring a great level of expertise with her naturopathic background. So unfortunately, she is on a family vacation where she was due to be in Mexico and is going to stream in from Mexico, but there was a snafu. So I'm going to give a little bit about me, and then I'm going to play a short video from her and pretend to be a bit more interactive, even though she's not actually here live today. So I'm Theresa Paganini. I own Love Yourself Lean, and I've recently rebranded from The Monarch Effect. So if you're familiar with The Monarch Effect, it's now Love Yourself Lean, and you can follow me on all of my channels if you don't already. Look for Love Yourself Lean on Facebook and YouTube, and Love You Lean on Instagram. And I'm a health coach. I'm certified in nutrition. I'm certified in behavior change and weight management, and that is my passion. That is my focus. I specifically love to work with people that need help understanding that it is okay to love themselves and to love food, and that you can be at your healthiest weight and live your happiest life while enjoying food and still lose weight. And so that's where I work with folks through that joy process of living and loving and losing weight all at the same time. Dr. Katie is a naturopathic doctor, and she really focuses on how to get the insides as healthy as possible so you can live your best life and be at your best weight, because it's not always about movement and nutrition. Sometimes it's about hormones. Sometimes it's about food intolerances. Sometimes it's about adrenal fatigue, which is still related to hormones. But there's a lot of other things with the crazy, hectic lives that we lead that impact our ability to be well and at our best weight. And so she comes at our wellness and weight loss from that perspective. And so I'm going to play a quick little video of Dr. Katie just giving a quick hello. And this is our first stream, so forgive any technical snafus. We'll see how this goes. Let's see. I'm going to share my screen. Is it going to let me do that? Hold on. There we go. All right, here's Dr. Katie.
Hi, everyone. I'm so sorry to have missed our first podcast today. Unfortunately, I'm traveling and our plans were reliant upon another family. And so that's why I'm not there live today. But I just wanted to take a second and introduce myself. My name is Dr. Katie Schneller. I am a naturopathic physician in Chandler. And the name of my practice is Inclusive Natural Medicine. I started that company because I thought that it was important that everybody have access to natural medicine where your provider cares and listens to you. And that's something that I'll talk about a little bit later. But one of the biggest things that my patients talk about is how they've seen other doctors, other specialists, other healthcare providers in general, and nobody's really believed them. No one's taken the time to take their history and listen to their story. So I'm a little bit different.
So that is Dr. Katie. Hopefully you're seeing me again. I think I stopped my share. You can let me know if you're seeing me and if you even saw the video. That would be helpful for me on our first go round at this. But anyway, that's Dr. Katie. She has like amazing hair. I love it. Curly, as you can see in the picture, or straight. She's just some hot stuff. So I'm super excited to partner with her, and you can hear just how much she cares about her patients. And that's what makes her so special and why I was so excited to partner with her, because she's a great listener and she takes you seriously. And I've worked with a variety of naturopaths in the past where, they give you a regimen or a protocol and it just doesn't tend to be working. And they just are like, give it more time. And she really has a timeline of which she works, where if you're not seeing progress in a finite amount of time, she's looking for the next solution. And that's what I love about her. And so that's part of that blunt and bias. She's going to be really honest and authentic, and hey, you know what? That's not working. Let's try the next thing. So that's Dr. Katie in a nutshell. Cool. Thank you, Dwight. He's saying we're up and running and we're working, and you saw the video. So today, since it is our kickoff, we didn't want to get too specific. We wanted to stay pretty broad in our topic because we figure that will be the umbrella for a lot of what we talk about going forward. And the topic for today are the various facets of health to focus on to create true wellness in all aspects of our being. And a lot of times we focus on one or two things. In my field, people tend to focus on their looks, on their physicality. How thin am I? How much fat do I have? What do I weigh? And so the focus becomes very, very specific to nutrition and movement. And a lot of other aspects of wellness get lost. On Dr. Katie's side, a lot of aspects of wellness are on medication, are on focusing on avoiding disease, but not necessarily proactively, right? In the naturopathic case, oftentimes those doctors, Dr. Katie specifically, comes at that from a proactive stance. But many times us, the patient, come after we're already not feeling well in the hopes that, hey, help me feel better. And so when Dr. Katie and I come at wellness, I'm coming at it from okay, so there is movement, there is nutrition, but there's other things in joy. And for her, yes, disease exists, but what can we do beforehand? How can you come to me before you start feeling like shit? And so that way I don't have to fix you, but I can keep you running at your maximum. So I'm going to share my screen again and talk a bit about what I really like to focus on from a wellness perspective. So this is what I call my wellness wheel. And it's all of the aspects of life that I believe should get your attention in order to achieve true wellness. And for those on my side of the world that focus a lot on weight, your weight is very closely tied to your mental state. Stress absolutely negatively impacts your weight. Lack of sleep negatively impacts your weight. Having a disconnect with the people in your life negatively impacts your weight. So it's more than nutrition and fitness. And so when you look at this wheel, you'll see that finances are on there, intimate relationships, so your partners, your spouse, but then you've also got family and friends for those that you aren't intimate with, but you are still connected to. How much are you doing to foster strong relationships? Are you reaching out? Are you checking on people? Are you saying, hey, COVID was a tough time for a lot of people. How are you doing? What do you need? And as you reach out and connect, you feel that love back, which fulfills you and allows you to feel your best. And so on here, finances, intimate relationships, your physical health and body. Usually my group is really focused there, and that becomes 80% of the pie. Notice it's an equal portion of this pie. Our spirituality. And so for some of you, you're immediately going, I'm not a religious person. Spirituality and religiousness are not the same thing. Spirituality is really about what fulfills your own soul. And so are you doing what fulfills you? And understanding that you are a piece of an entire puzzle. You are one entity in a universe of people. And so how do you fulfill yourself as a part of that whole, and how do you contribute to the whole? That's how I really view spirituality for those that aren't of a religious mindset, but understand your energy. You are shared energy. And so how do you keep your energy at its healthiest? Emotional health. So as an emotional eating coach, this is extremely important. We spend a lot of time trying to be happy and really struggle when we're not. And we turn to food or alcohol or drugs or sex or shopping or other things to escape all of our feelings. And so understanding feelings are extremely important to our overall health, and all of them are important, not just happiness. Our career mission, right? What is your passion in life? Are you following it? In your career, are you happy with where you're at? Are you pursuing the next step? And how are you doing that? Are you just being complacent? Or are you absolutely okay to be where you are at because it allows you to live your life outside of work rather than being owned by work? Really understanding your goals with your career and making sure that you're pursuing them actively, whether it's by going to the next step on that ladder, choosing a different career, choosing maybe another organization that you're happier at, or understanding how to find that work-life balance. The other one is, contribution. So sorry, did you like that? Contribution. What are we giving back? This isn't all about us. Like I said, we're one of a whole. So how are we fulfilling our own hearts and our own spirits and our own souls by giving back around us? Sometimes we feel really fulfilled by giving back to others. Sometimes we feel fulfilled by just helping planet Earth. Sometimes we feel really fulfilled by helping animals. But what is it that we're doing to focus outward? We've become many times very self-absorbed, especially as we disconnected during COVID. So how do we reconnect with the world? By looking outward. And as we do that, we feel better about ourselves. We build our own levels of self-worth and self-esteem. And that just allows us to love ourselves more and take better care of ourselves. With that, we've got fun and entertainment. Is that entertainment? No, excitement. Fun and excitement. So this is underrated. If you're going to work hard, you got to play hard. Life is not about working. Life is not about dieting. Life is not about suffering. Life is about trying to get the best experiences you can out of there. Experiencing suffering allows you to experience joy, so you don't want to avoid it, but you can't wallow in it. And a lot of times what we do is we fall into this theme and this habit of just either working through life, suffering through life, martyring through life, versus understanding we own our happiness. We dictate Where is there fun? Where's there excitement? Let me go look for it. I have a good example. I was talking with my girlfriend about just wanting some more laughter. And she's like, well, I go to comedy stuff all the time. I'll bring you. And I'm like, that could work, except I don't really have a sense of humor in that regard. I don't find a lot of that funny. So being true to myself, yeah, maybe I'll go and I'll experience it. But if that doesn't work, okay, what am I going to do to own my own laughter? What does make me laugh? Do I even understand that? And then go chase it and make it happen. That's how we own our wellness. Family and friends, we talked about that connection, reaching out, and then consistent growth. What are you doing to move yourself to that next level? Are you reading articles? Are you watching videos? I am not much of a factual reader. That puts me to sleep, unfortunately, but I love TEDx talks. So I will often get on YouTube and watch some TEDx talks and get some extra learning, extra perspective, extra tips in and out of my field on how to change the way I think, how to change the way I live, because we can go into our own little bubble and it keeps us very restricted. And so looking for different ways to continue to grow as a person so we don't stagnate. And then talking about finances, right? Are we happy with where we're at? And if we're not, what do we do about it? For example, I belong to a group and there is an actual financial coach, and her whole job is teaching you how to get out of debt, not necessarily how to become rich, but how to get out of debt, because how wealthy will you feel if you're not worried about how you pay that next bill? She's been debt-free since 2014, not even a house debt. And she teaches people how to do that. Does that interest you? Do you want to pursue that? Maybe you aren't uncomfortable in debt and instead are looking for ways to be able to retire young. What are you doing about that? Maybe there's something you really want or an experience you really want you don't feel like you can afford. What are you doing about that? The more you own it and take steps towards achieving it, once again, it builds your self-worth, it builds your self-esteem, and you'll take better care of yourself in all aspects of your life, and you'll be able to achieve a greater sense of joy and happiness. And then your intimate relationships, right? It is sometimes hard to keep the spark. It takes effort. But if you want spark, you have to provide spark. You can't just expect it from your partner without having to provide it in return. And where is it missing in your relationship? Where do you want it? Maybe you don't have an intimate relationship and you want one. Well, what are you doing for yourself to feel confident in your own person, to be able to put yourself out there with authenticity without being taken advantage of or falling into an unhealthy relationship, kind of being comfortable there and having an intimate relationship with yourself, that self-love of, I am worthy. I deserve to take myself on a date. I deserve to take myself on a vacation. When was the last time you've done that and made yourself feel special? Your intimate relationship can be with yourself. And then your physical health and body, obviously movement, obviously nutrition, taking care of the vessel that you get to live and play in. That's hugely important. And of course, that's my realm of expertise, where we'll talk a lot on this live stream. So that's my wellness wheel. And that's where I try to focus my clients when I work with them. Here are the various facets of health, and take a look to see, okay, where am I really strong? Where am I not? Where would I like to focus going forward? Where do I think there's low-hanging fruit, meaning something easy I can work on? Or where do I think there's gonna be the greatest impact, which may not be the lowest hanging fruit, but deserves your attention just the same. So I will attach this. I'll attach that graphic on this when this posts, so that way you guys have access to it if you want. And then talking with Dr. Katie, I know she's not here, and I am going to show a few more videos with her, but I know talking with her, she comes about health slightly differently. She comes from that medical background. So she wants you to really pay attention to, how do you feel? Start at that head. Do you feel clear in the brain? Do you feel clear in the sinuses? How is the throat? How is your chest? How is your breathing? How do you feel before and after eating? How do you feel in the gut? Because the gut is so important to our overall health. How are your moods? How is your energy? And so when she's looking at people from a wellness perspective, it's really the overall feeling. And a lot of times we disconnect from our bodies and aren't fully aware. Yeah, I do suffer from brain fog pretty frequently. Yeah, my sleep sucks. I am one moody individual. My stomach generally struggles after I eat. I find myself crashing midday. These are things that she'll want to take a look at because there are different facets of your health that impact that she is experienced at, and can run various tests and help you with through supplementation, through food, through exercise, through variety. And so when you combine her version of wellness with mine, you get that full picture. And it's a lot more than just food and fitness, right? And so teaching you that there's more to that. So because she comes at wellness from that medical side, I do want to play a quick video of her explaining what it means to see her and what that looks like. So give me one sec here. All right. Typical visit with Dr. Katie.
A typical visit with me looks like initially, potentially a 15-minute consult over the phone is fine. You don't have to come into the office for that, but basically it enables me to listen to what you're dealing with and identify whether I'm the right provider for you. I'm not going to waste your time, and I'm certain that you don't want me to waste yours. So we basically make sure that we're a good fit. And then once we get you on the schedule, we have an initial intake from 60 to 90 minutes long. Just depends on the severity of your case or how long you've been dealing with these issues. And we'll draw blood. I do all of the blood draws in office. Those do get covered by insurance, by the way, most of the time. If it's a specialty lab, sometimes it won't. But after that initial intake, we have a follow-up, again, usually over the phone, just to save drive time for you. And we go over your labs one by one, kind of combing through everything to make sure that you understand what each thing is, what it means for you. And then we go through an individualized treatment plan, which includes all of your goals that you've listed to me, your supplement medication recommendations that I'll give you, lifestyle recommendations, as well as kind of future options. So I always like for my patients to know what the potential future possibilities can be of our work together in case what we do at first doesn't work. Here's a few other things that I'm considering for us down the road. And then after that visit, which is around a week later, depends on which blood labs we draw, then we'll have a follow-up about 6 weeks after, and then another 3 months after, so on and so forth.
Okay, so hopefully you were able to see that. Once again, this is the first time on, so we'll see how the technical snafus go. But so it gives you an understanding. Now, I know some of my followers are not in Arizona. So Dwight, for example, you being one of them. Dr. Katie absolutely is willing to do consults with those out of state. There's some things that she can help with. There's some things that she can't. But something that's super helpful that I love about Dr. Katie is that she will help you understand what to look for in a naturopath in your area, what questions to ask based on your symptoms. But she's willing to do the consult with you and help direct you, help you where she can legally, and then direct you where she can't because she is out of state. And so as you become more familiar with her through these live streams, don't hesitate to reach out to her and use her as a resource. The same can be said of me for questions that you've got on the wellness space. She's pretty stellar. I can't wait for you to see her live and let all of her personality shine through. With this, so the big thing for you on this one, and I'm going to put it back to her and then we'll probably wrap it up. But you need to be the expert on you, right? I can be the expert on fitness and nutrition. Dr. Katie can be the expert on medical advice, but you've got to be really self-aware on what it is that you want, how it is that you feel, and what's limiting you from achieving it. And if you're not sure what's limiting you, being able to vocalize the problem so we can help understand and identify for you and then work with you. Right? As much as we are the professionals in the field, it is your body, it is your life, it is your wellness, it is your weight loss. And so understanding it is your responsibility, your job, your 100% of your 50% to be your own expert. Become more self-aware of how you're feeling. Become more self-aware of where you're limiting yourself or where your physicality is limiting you, right? Are you experiencing brain fog? Are you stopping yourself from focusing on things that are important to you? Are you having some gut issues? Maybe your hormones are getting out of whack, or all of a sudden you struggling to eat certain foods. Your awareness needs to be heightened So that way we can communicate openly as your professionals to help you out, whether it's through a live stream format where you're chatting in with us and asking some questions, or whether it's in an actual consultation and session with us as we work together. So in that vein, as you work through the wellness wheel I've provided, as you work through the various medical topics I've shared through Dr. Katie, understanding your responsibility in that as being your own expert, I'm going to give a final video with Dr. Katie in it for you to be able to just kind of hear how important that is for her as well as a naturopath.
One final thing that I'd really like everybody to know, not just...
Geez, Katie, jumping the gun, girl. Just kidding. So I'm going to share this final one with you, wrap it up, and then I'll see you in 2 weeks. All right.
One final thing that I'd really like everybody to know, not just about naturopathic medicine, about my practice, inclusive natural medicine, but just about your wellness in general, is that you should be trusted no matter which provider you're seeing. I'm an expert in naturopathic medicine, but you're an expert in your body. And if whoever you're seeing is not listening to you and not believing you and not taking what you say seriously, then it's time to get a switch. If you feel like your hormones are off and you feel like someone's done a little bit of digging, but maybe not enough, make sure that they're looking at your hormones optimally. They're going to know, but so will you. If you still feel off, ultimately, the lab values are only one piece of the picture. One of my favorite cases of this is something that I often treat, which is Hashimoto's hypothyroidism, which basically means the thyroid is low functioning. And oftentimes there are patients that feel a certain way. Their labs might be perfect, but they still aren't feeling themselves. And I kind of take the perspective that it's more important that you feel better, even if your labs are a little bit off. So all that to say, if there's one thing that I would say that's the most important, no matter where you are in your wellness journey right now, is to trust yourself and make sure that whoever you're seeing trusts you too.
All right. So with that being said, thanks so much for being the first live stream, even though it was a little bit different than we expected. I was solo, so that interaction really wasn't there as much. But Dwight, I super appreciate you being here. And I can't tell if anybody else has joined on or not. But if you have, I appreciate your attendance also. We're going to be back live in 2 weeks, same time, same day, to be a little bit more blunt and a little bit more biased. Different topic this time. Today was that umbrella of overall health and wellness, sharing my perspective as a health coach, sharing Katie's perspective as a naturopath, and really focusing on the fact that you need to be your own expert. Trust yourself and work in your own best interests. You own your health and wellness. We get to help be a guide, but you truly are the one doing the work. And so make yourself top priority. Figure out what it is, what you need, and go after it. All right. Thanks for being on Blunt and Biased. We'll see you in a few weeks.